Hey, this is Chris, and I am chucking dice. Appreciate you watching my videos. Today, I am going to tackle the world bet, or sometimes called the whirl bet. What is the world bet, and is there a scenario where you might want to play it? Let's have a discussion about this because I often always heard people say you should avoid those center action carnival bets and whatnot, but maybe there's a scenario where the world bet might be practical. When would that be? So let's take a look at what the world bet is first of all. On most layouts, the world bet is going to be right above the CNE, and usually sometimes there's a world here or a globe, and they'll put that bet right there. Even if they don't have it on the table, oftentimes they'll let you play it. You just ask them if you can play a world bet, and they'll let you play it. So normally there's going to be something on your table right up here that would signal that that's where you're going to put that bet. So what is a world bet? Well, a world bet is actually two different bets at the same time. Well, maybe you could say it was four different bets or five different bets at the same time. Uh, a world bet is $1 on any seven. Now, again, you might say, why in the world would I ever play $1 on any seven? Well, stick with me. It's $1 on any seven, plus it's $1 on each of the horn bets. That means you're playing $1 on the seven, $1 on the ace deuce, the yo, aces, and box cars, all at the same time. And what happens is if a seven rolls, the seven pays 4-1. So it's a push. It's going to lose the horn bets, and that any seven is going to pay. So that's with a $5 bet, by the way. I've got five chips here, right? $5, one on the world and one on each of the horn bets. If you roll a horn, you lose the any seven, you lose the non-winning horn bets, and you get paid the way you're supposed to get paid on each of those horns. So, for example, if you rolled an ace deuce, you're going to lose $4 and you're going to get paid 15. Same thing with the yo. If it was let's say aces, you're going to lose the other $4 and you're going to get paid 30 bucks for that world bet on the aces. Same thing with the box cars. $30, you're going to lose 4. Now, the way they're probably going to pay that, they're going to leave these bets, they're going to leave this world bet up. So if you had $5 on the world bet, they're going to leave that up. And instead of paying you 30, let's say you rolled, the number was a 6, they're not going to pay you the full 30. They're going to pay you 26 for that box cars, and they're going to leave this world bet up. So they'll pay you the difference to keep it up. Now, I like to use that as part of the strategy and the way that I play the world bet. So I'm going to show you how I like to play that. So let's storyboard this and run through what a world bet looks like. So a lot of times people will start with a $5 bet on the world. Again, it's a $5 minimum because you're covering all five of these bets with $1 each. So this one world bet for a nickel is exactly the same thing as if you had told them to give you a $4 horn and a $1 any seven. When would you want to do this? Well, that's kind of up to you, but because the seven pushes, this is a fairly interesting bet at times. Now, a lot of people still say it's a bad bet, but and certainly it does lose a fair amount. But you cover a third of the rolls that there's 36 ways to roll these dice and end up in 36 different combinations. Um, if you roll a seven, you don't lose anything. A seven is a push. Your bet stays up. That doesn't happen very often. If a horn rolls, well, it depends on which horn number rolls. If you're playing with the $5 bet and you roll an ace deuce, like this right here, I just did, ace deuce is like this is going to come down and it's like you had $1 on the ace deuce. So you're going to lose $4 and that $1 is going to get paid 15. Remember, you had $5 out here though. So the way that's going to work is they're going to keep the $4 up and they're going to pay you 11 to keep that up. Now, oftentimes, if you're playing a pass line bet, let's say you've got a pass line bet down, and you roll a yo, let's say you end up rolling a 6-5 yo, well, now you get paid on your pass line. So you're going to get paid $10 for your pass, and you're going to get paid 11 to keep the world bet up. Now the world bet paid you this extra 11 on top of your pass line bet. Now you've been paid $21 for that pass line yo, or that come out yo, and your world bet stays. So you've got some options when you're playing the world, and kind of just depends on what your strategy is. But one option people often do is they'll press that world up every time it hits. And that means that no matter if it's a 7 or a horn, they're going to press this up. And you get some scenarios where you go on those runs where you have a long, or not long even, but 2 or 3 horns hit back to back to back. You can get this thing pressed up quite a bit, and I'll show you how that works. Now, here's the exciting part. The 7 is a push. If you treat that like a hit and you go ahead and press this up, I want you to think about the times that you've been playing at the casino and a come out happens where people roll 2 or 3 sevens back to back, and then they roll a horn or two, and then they roll another 7, and then maybe a yo, it comes. And in fact, I was at the casino yesterday, and I saw a string happen like this. I saw a person roll 4 sevens on the come out, followed by, I think it was a yo, and then another 7 before they hit the point. Now, the sevens are a push, but if you had pressed that every time you rolled a 7, if you press that up, you got 7, another 7, another 7, another 7. Now you've got a $20 horn when that yo rolled. Now, so again, 4 sevens followed by a yo, followed by another 7, and then eventually I think they made the point and that bet comes down. But on the come out, this is a really interesting play because now in that example, you threw the shooter threw 4 sevens. You've got this bet pressed up to $20. Now a $20 bet is a little bit different because a $20 bet is 4 units. So instead of thinking of it like this, think of it like this. You've got $4 on each of these. Oops. And if I could control my white chips here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. All right. So now you hit that yo, and what happens is that yo hit is like all these bets came down. So you just lost $16, came down. But you have now a $4 yo because you pressed this up. Now that $4 yo pays 15 to 1. That's 15, 30, 45, $60 they're going to pay you minus the 16 that you lost, but it's a $60 win because you've got a $4 yo on that bet because you're playing this world bet. Now again, right here, before all of this happened, you've got you've got $20 on the world bet. If a 7 rolls, this is a push. You do not lose that $20 when a 7 rolls. So when might you want to use this? Well, it's a good play on the come out if you're playing it like a strategy within a strategy, game within a game concept. You can play a world bet on the come out, and sometimes you see those strings where a come out roll will throw several horns or 7s on the come out. It just happens. We've all seen it. So that's an interesting option for people that want a little game within a game action. So what I like to do is I like to play it on the come out. I'll throw a nickel on the world. And let's say I've got a $10 pass line because it's a $10 game. So I've got $10 on the pass line. Now let's say we are playing and we get a come out 7. All right. So we now have a 5-2. I've got a $10 pass line and I've got a $5 world. I'm going to get paid. They're going to say line, take the don'ts, pay the line. I'm going to get paid $10. This is a push. It's not going anywhere because we rolled a 7, right? This is going to stay there. It's a push. $10 gets paid 10. I'm going to take a nickel and profit it, and I'm going to press that up. I'm going to go ahead and take my chances, and I'm going to double it. Now I've got $1 that I just put in my rack. I've still got my $10 pass line. Now I've got a $10 Whirl Bet. So let's say we roll the dice again, and we get an ace deuce. Now I'm going to lose my pass line, right? Because the pass line comes down. But I've got $10 on that world. Remember, that's 2 units on each of those. That's like having a $2 ace deuce. That $2 ace deuce is going to pay 30 bucks. But remember, they're going to keep this up. So they're going to take 8. I've got 2 units here. But the way that they're going to pay that is they're going to leave this up. So they're going to take my $30 minus the 8, and they're going to pay me, instead of paying me 30, they're going to just pay me 22. Now I've got $22. Oops, I lost my pass line. So I'm going to go ahead and throw $10 in the pass line again. I'm going to replace that. I've got $12 here to work with that I made profit on because ace deuce rolled. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to press it up by 1. I'm going to pocket the other nickel. Now I've made 10 bucks in my rack free and clear. And what am I going to do with these 2 white chips? Well, because the ace deuce is going to pay me a little bit less, I've got the yo covered on the line. And the ace deuce only pays 15 to 1. I'm going to take this $2 and I'm just going to ask him to go ahead and put me on the ace deuce for 2 bucks. Now I've got 15 on the Whirl Bet plus an extra $2 in juice on the ace deuce. I still have my $10 pass line. If you want to keep playing this, if you're not the shooter, you don't have to play the pass line, but I like to let the pass line feed the world if a 7 rolls. So now let's say, we roll the dice, and boom, we got another 7. Okay, interesting play here. I'm going to lose the ace deuce because that is a separate $2 bet on the ace deuce. The Whirl Bet with 15 on it is going to push. It's not going to, it's a 7 rolled. It's not a loser. It's going to stay right there. But now I'm going to get paid another 10 on that, pay the pass line. I'm going to get paid another 10 bucks. I'm going to rack another nickel, and I'm going to press this up another $5. Now I've got that $25 Whirl Bet. And now we're going out. Everything's reset. The all tall, small, all that stuff reset. We come out again and we get, I'm just going to show you what happens here. So we get another, oh man, we just rolled another 7. And this is going to push. Again, they're going to pay me $10 for the pass line. I'm going to repeat. Now I've put 20 bucks in my rack. Now I'm going to take another nickel and I'm pressing it up again. Now let's say we got this thing pressed up to a quarter. Holy moly, that's a big bet on the world. I've never been comfortable with this before, but I started doing this and it's hit several times. So as we roll the dice again, and now we get aces. Well, that just turned. We get aces. Boom. We're still trying to make a point, and we keep hitting horns and 7s and on the come out. What on earth is going on? Everybody around the table is kind of laughing and saying, this is a crazy play. And you're sitting there waiting for your cash, because here's what happens now. You've just hit this a few times on a strange come out session. Now you've got 5 units on that Whirl Bet. Having 5 units on it at a quarter is real easy to do the math, because it's like having one of these on each of these numbers, right? So it's like a $5 bet times 5. So we just roll the aces. I'm going to lose the any 7 part of that. I'm going to lose the ace deuce and the yo and the box cars. Those are all going to come down. But I'm getting paid 30 to 1 on those aces that just rolled. And I had a nickel on it because of the way the Whirl Bet pays. 5 times 30, they're going to give me 150 bucks. Just because we went through this wacky come out sequence and I was pressing up on the 7s and the horns by 1 unit on that, by 1 nickel on that Whirl Bet, and got it to a quarter. Now I just got $150, and everybody else is sitting around waiting for points. You know, how many times you go back and forth losing the pass line? You roll a 7, you get paid. You roll aces, you lose it. You roll an ace deuce, you lose it again. Then you roll a horn, you roll a box cars and you lose it, and then you roll a yo and you get it back, and then another 7 comes and you get it back again, and you're just back and forth on the pass line or the don't pass. and someone who's playing the horn or the Whirl Bet in this case is making $150 in this particular strange roll. We've all seen these wild come out rolls. So this is a move where you might want to try the Whirl Bet. Now, again, sorry, I'm talking a lot and I'm not shooting, but I wanted to just kind of walk you through why I like this as a certain come out play. There are certain scenarios where the Whirl Bet is an appealing play, and so here in this scenario, um, you just won 150 bucks. What they're going to do is they're going to take the 20 out of this, and they're only going to pay you 135 or 130. I'm sorry, 130, and they'll leave this $5 bet up. So they'll pay you like that. Well, that would be how there's a quarter here. They'll pay you that would be how they'd pay you 130 and leave it all up. Now what I might do is I might go ahead and add one more to it. I might even just go ahead and take the black and the red and add one more quarter to it. Now I've got a $50 Whirl Bet. If by chance that rare outlier, it's like going with a parlay on the hard ways a couple of times and getting that big giant payday. If you could get this to happen and you roll another number and it's not a point and you still, let's say even if it's now they've rolled another thing and they ended up with a 7. Again, everybody else is just getting paid their little pass line bet. You're getting that too, but you're not losing this $50 crazy bet here. A 7 doesn't hurt it. It pushes. So you've banked all this money on the come out roll, and what happens if you actually end up getting a midnight or a yo or ace deuce or aces, any of those horn numbers? You end up in a crazy scenario where you've pressed this, and I didn't totally parlay it. All I did was use those winnings to press it up. Now I've got a $50 horn, and that $50 horn is the same, I mean world is the same as having, let's see, $10 on each of these. Same thing, it's just a different way of saying it. Now we roll the box cars. Now I've got $10 on midnight. How many people ever put $10 on midnight, but you did it just by pressing up on a crazy come out sequence? Now you get paid $10. That's $300 you're going to they're going to pay you a $300 win, and it's like all these other ones came down, but you got paid 10 on that midnight. So anyway, that's the Whirl Bet, and a unique scenario that happens every come out roll that is an opportunity to make a substantial amount of money while everybody else is waiting for a point. So now that I have gone on for quite a while to explain this, let's do a short rollout, and we're going to play like we're on the come out. I'm going to put all this back, and we'll have a $300 bankroll. We're just going to play a $5 world and a $10 pass line. All right. We're going to pretend like we're coming out and just randomly roll this, and we're going to have a come out 8. All right. So, an 8 is the point, and obviously you're not going to have this payout every time, but, consider it like a side bet. Now we lose the nickel, and we're going to keep rolling, and we're going to try to roll until we got a 7 out. All right, puck's off. We lost the pass line. Now we're coming out again. $10 pass line, $5 on the world, and we got to come out 7. All right, so come out 7 is going to be a pass line winner, and that's going to push. Dealer, press my world by 5. I'm going to rack this nickel, and we're still coming out 4. We got a point of 4. All right, no problem. We lost $5. We pressed it up, so we had 10 on it, but we lost the 5, and now we're going to come here and we're looking for a point. Point of 4, trying to repeat that. There's 9. We're just going through here. We're, shot after shot. Play however you want to beyond this. It's just, there's a 6. Play any other strategy. I was thinking maybe there's a 7. Then we lost it again. New shooter. $10 on the pass line. $5 Whirl Bet dealers. Midnight. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Everybody else is pissed off. Oh, I lost my pass line bet. Oh, woe is me. This Whirl Bet is going to pay 26 bucks because it's going to pay 30 to 1 minus the 4 that we lost on the other bets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect the quarter, ask the dealer to press me up, and I'm replacing my pass line bet. And I'm going to take this dollar and I'm going to put it on the ace deuce because it pays the least on all of these because of the pass line loss. And I'm going to go for that second win. 8. All right. It didn't work. It didn't work. That's okay. It happens a lot. But it's just $5 initial risk, right? And I won because I hit it once. We're going to lose the ace deuce. We're going to lose the $10 on the pass line. I mean, on the world. And now we're looking for a point of 8 and play however else you want to play. There's a 4. We're just looking for an 8. There's aces. Where was that earlier? And we got a 6 and a 5 and a 6 and a 10 and a hard 10. And there's a 7 out. All right. Bummerooski, 7 out. Take the pass line. $10 pass, $5 world, please. Oops. All right. Coming out. There's an 8. And you get the point. I thought I maybe hit a point here and I'd be able to show you. So Whirl Bet comes down. 6. Oops. Yo. 7 out. Well, this is a choppy table. We haven't even hit a point yet. We lose the pass line, but at least we made a little bit of money that one time when we added a quarter because of the boxcars thrown in the come out. 6. All right, so we got a point of 6, and we lose. Whoops, we lose the world. And you kind of get the point. This is 6. We got it. So point made. Yay! Everybody's happy. We finally made money on the pass line. Now I'm going to ask them to take $5 for my pass line winnings and replace that world. Same shooter coming out. I'm back up because of those come out 7s and horns, and we got a point of 6. All right, so I think that we'll call that good for a demonstration, but you get the point. This is how I like to play the Whirl Bet and how I think it can be an effective part of your strategy because of the wacky things we see on the come out rolls. A thought I had was that you could just play a perpetual world. Let's just say you perpetually play a $5 bet on the world. It's a side bet, separate bankroll situation, but let's say you've got $100 you've designated for the world. You could just play a perpetual trying to get a back-to-back anytime, and you could press it separately. So if it hits the first time, whether it's a 7 or a horn, you press it. If it hits a second time, you press it again. You're trying to look for those opportunities where you can parlay it by pressing it up. And, maybe you give 20 shots at it at a nickel each. You put $100 toward that over the course of a session and just play it perpetually. The cool thing about playing it is that a 7 is a push. So you've got 6 rolls, 6 chances. How many times you have those 7 outs where you lose everything? Well, you're not losing the Whirl Bet. You have a nickel out here. It stays. And then 6 ways to roll a horn. So you've got 12 out of the 36 roll combinations where you're either pushing or winning. In theory, you could not even play a pass line, and you could just play a Whirl Bet, and that could be your only play. You're covering all 6 ways to roll a 7, and you're covering the 6 ways to roll a horn that actually make you some money. And then anytime you roll one of those, you press it up by 1 and go for the big win. So anyway, there's a lot of different ways to play it, but that's what a Whirl Bet is, and I've been having a lot of fun playing this, especially when I'm the shooter, and I do roll a good number of horns on the come out. In fact, I often roll ace deuce on the come out from my 3V set that I use, so I will usually take an extra buck and I'll throw it on the ace deuce, just so that, because I usually have a $10 pass line, and again, with the $5 world, and a $1 ace deuce. If it rolls an ace deuce, it's like having $2 here on the ace deuce. So I'm getting paid 30 to be able to replace my pass line and press the world. So anyway, this was an unusual video, mostly me talking, but it feels like there's not much out there in the way of the world bet, and I've been having a lot of fun playing it. So I thought I'd share that with you. And anyway, hope you enjoyed this unconventional video. We'll see you next time.